Yes. Sådan der. Vi fortsætter mod togbanen og togstationen. Termokan. Fedt. Ja, så ved vi, at vi bliver angrebet af en bulldozer på et tidspunkt.
Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole. He felt wrong, and it wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say.
Ja. Der er toget. Checkpoint. Så batterier og armor. Lækkert. Så. Det er Barry.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan, I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful and cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me. The pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Lækkert. What the shit, dude? Så kraftig, mand. Stop med jer to. Hun er ufattelig. Eller simpelthen.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead, and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Det ville være lækkert, hvis vi kunne finde en bil.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
What the hell? Oh. Helen, for helvede. Det er vanvittigt. Og så er der... Shit. Hvis ikke det er det ene, så er det det andet, man skal lege med. What?
I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me.
Oof.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Men ikke termokanden. Oh my god.
Did you call 911?
Nej. Sådan er det. Hvad sker der? Sådan der. Fedt. Hvad med ham? Nej. Det er typisk. In lights, you can hurt them. Så i lyset, der kan man komme på træder, så det er noget nyt. Det er fedt. Fedt. Fedt.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast...
Det var det simpelthen. Nu har vi hørt en af dem. Der er 100 år jo.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Ja, så altså de her manuskripter, der vi finder, hvis I ikke er helt med endnu, så enten så er det sket, eller så kommer det til at ske. Det er lidt... altså man får sådan en glimt ind i, hvad der kommer til at ske i historien. Så det er lidt sjovt. En sjov måde at bedre det historie på. Så skal vi da væk deroppe igen. Har vi bulldozeren. Dårlig nerver. Åbn, tag tingene, løb. Termokan. Fedt. Så er vi.
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine.
Man er glad for at se solen stå op, men på vej ned til en mine. Bob, ikke?
The coal mine wasn't far now. Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
Jesus, der er mange sider endnu. Hold da op. Coal Mine Museum. Eller museum. Sådan lidt. Har en dansk eller engelsk? Ja. Men vi er udgivet efter nogle termokanter og nogle stykker papir og noget. Rough road. Det må du nok sige. Men nu har jeg ingen våben eller noget som helst igen nu. Hvilket er virkelig underligt. Hvor fanden tog han ikke bilen resten af vejen? Det er da dumt. Nogle gange, ja. Så er han tænker sig om. Vi lige se, om den er herovre. Fedt, Allan. Det, men det er svært. Det er ikke godt. Jesus. Ja, tak. Det er ikke godt lavet, det her bilsystem. Kan man køre den herovre? Ja. Fedt. Men lurer om der ikke er et eller andet herinde. Hvad er det?
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
Nej, ingen musik, tak. Lad os prøve den her bil i stedet for. Den anden var lort. Så. Dude. Men det ikke er en radio mere. Det er simpelthen en radio mere. Det er noget her bagved.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Well, see, to me that's strange because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or childish even? There's plenty of fish.
Yes. Skal vi prøve den her bil? Det tror jeg nok lige, vi skal. Selvom minen er lige her, så det...
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Altså, nu er jeg lige nysgerrig. Fordi... der var en slags bagindgang heroppe. Og luren ikke. Altså, det er jo så et sted, jeg ville parkere en deromgang, hvis det var. Hvad fanden er der? Abonner. Den er længere op. Jeg tænker, du er et eller andet.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Ja, du vidste godt, at vi lige kommer tilbage. Fik den med. Ja. Nice. Fed. Ja, tak. Jeg tænker, at der skal nok være en... hvad står der her? Read. While lucrative at first, the mining steadily declined in the 20th century. The seams were rich, but hard to get at, and the volcanic activity in the area made the mine shafts particularly dangerous. Så det er meningsoperationen her er gået ned ad bakke lige siden det 20. århundrede. Det er enormt farligt, fordi der er vulkanaktivitet. Så de der minegange er super farlige. Så man har lukket det godt til museum. Det giver god mening. Museums... Nej, så ligner smidt noget her. Gå nu op, Allan.
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Nope. In 1970, i 1970, var der en vulkan, der var kommet i udbrud under Cauldron Lake. Det har vi hørt om før. Selvom det var en ikke så voldsom vulkanudbrud, så cause most of the deep mining tunnels. Så de fleste af de mineskakterne dybt ned i jorden kollapsede og oversvømmede. 32 miner, de døde dernede. Og al mining-operationer eller arbejde i Bright Falls, det er den by, vi kom til, er stoppet. Og mange af de her bygninger, som vi ser, er historiske, så derfor bliver bevaret af historiske årsager.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wake! Where the hell are you?
Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around
You
by
want
you.
to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah! I'm gonna kill him!
I had to get to Mirror Peak.